November 14th, 12:42 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Alright. I think he snapped. I ended up being 4 hours late on this video, and just Adrian's here. I got out of the basement after seeing that rage, and I don't think I'm gonna make it, guys. This is the month of November where we're trying new things, and I'm still kind of in the learning process of not only, making videos, but being a normal life. But because of hiccups here and there, sometimes shit happens. You gotta kick people out of the basement. You gotta cook your not COVID positive sister food, just stuff like that. And but shit does keep on happening. I understand. I'm a bit of a mess, and now Adrian's here, and I'm gonna die. So, this might be my last message to you guys. I really hope you enjoy this gameplay. And I also really hope you enjoy this gag. This is the month of November where we try new things. Comment down below your thoughts and feelings on the this and the that and the that and the this. And, goodbye. In today's game, we have Guy running Niv Mizzet Parun. His opening hand of 5 includes a Mountain, Polluted Delta, Treasonous Ogre, Ophidian Eye, and Submerge, as he mulligans away a Factor Fiction and a Glint Horn Buccaneer. After that, we have Ajdin rocking Animar, Soul of Elements. His opening hand of 6 includes a Mountain, Tropical Island, Scalding Tarn, Lotus Cobra, Incubation Druid, and a Lifeblood Hydra, as he mulligans away a Rattleclaw Mystic. And then we have Calvin rocking Godo, Bandit, Warlord. His opening hand of 6 includes 2 Snow-Covered Mountains, a Harsh Mentor, Thran Dynamo, Umezawa's Jit, Soul Guide Lantern, and then he ships away a Mask of Avacyn. Finally, we have Adrian coming at us with Akiri again. His opening hand includes a Sunbaked Canyon, Flooded Strand, Mountain, Swiftblade Vindicator, Stoneforge Mystic, Monastery Mentor, and Path to Exile. Guy won the die roll, so he'll open up round 1 with a Polluted Delta, and then pass the turn. Ajdin will follow him, and he'll drop a Tropical Island, and pass the turn. Calvin follows suit with a Snow-Covered Mountain, but then casts Soul Guide Lantern. He ends the turn. Finally, it's Adrian. He drops a Flooded Strand, and he passes the turn. Round 2, Guy will draw, and then crack his Polluted Delta, only for Adrian to respond by cracking Flooded Strand. Adrian's will resolve first, and he'll get a Plains, and then Guy will get a Steam Benson Shocked. He'll then cast Ponder, and then he'll drop a Command Tower, ending the turn. Ajdin will draw, and then shock in a Breeding Pool so that he can cast Lotus Cobra, and then he'll pass the turn. Calvin will untap, draw, and then drop a Snow-Covered Mountain before casting a Harsh Mentor, passing the turn. And then Adrian will drop a Mountain before casting Relic Seeker, ending his turn. Round 3, Guy will untap, draw, and then drop a Mountain, and then ending the turn. Ajdin will untap, draw, then drop a Scalding Tarn, which will trigger the Lotus Cobra, adding 1 green to his mana pool. He'll then crack the Scalding Tarn, triggering Harsh Mentor and dealing 2 damage to him, searching out a Taiga, which will enter the battlefield and trigger the Lotus Cobra again, adding another green to his mana pool. He'll tap his lands to cast Animar, Soul of Elements, and then he'll use the 2 floating green to cast Incubation Druid, which will trigger Animar. He'll then end the turn. Calvin will untap, draw, drop a Snow-Covered Mountain, and then pass the turn. Adrian will untap and then attack Guy for 2 with Relic Seeker, which connects and triggers the Relic Seeker, which lets him search his library for a Sunforger and add it to his hand. He'll then drop a Sunbaked Canyon, lose 1 to tap it and another land to cast a Mind Stone, then tap the Mind Stone in his last land to cast a Stoneforge Mystic, which will enter the battlefield and search him up a Sword of Fire and Ice. He'll then end the turn. Round 4, Guy will draw a card, then drop a Flooded Strand, cracking it and dealing an extra 2 to him because of the Harsh Mentor to find an island. He'll then tap out to cast Treasonous Ogre, and then pass the turn. Ajdin will untap, draw, then drop a Mountain, triggering Lotus Cobra, and then he'll cast Forgotten Ancient, which will trigger Animar. He'll then follow that with the Ozolith, which will trigger the Ancient, and then he'll cast Bloom Tender, which will trigger Animar and the Ancient. He'll then attack Guy for 4 with commander damage. During Ajdin's end step, Calvin will crack his lantern, and then he'll cast Thrill of Probabilities, discarding a land in the process. On Calvin's turn, he'll untap, draw, and then drop a Mikakoro Center of the Sea.
Mind Ajdin when you play spells.
Mikakoro Center of the Sea. Bingo bongo bongo, tap out now for a Thran Dynamo-y.
Oh yeah!
Then
Bingo.
tap that to cast Worn Power Stone.
Bingo.
Which enters tapped. Then I pass my turn and now I am Godo.
Oh, that's nice. Untapped. I love you, Calvin. Draw for turn.
And then cast Monastery Mentor, which will trigger the Ancient. And then he'll drop a Chrome Mox, exiling a Swiftfoot Vindicator underneath it, triggering the Ancient, but as well as his Monastery Mentor, giving him a token. He'll then attack Guy for 3 before ending the turn. Round 5, Guy will untap, draw, then drop an Arid Mesa. He'll then activate his Ogre 3 times, losing 9 life in the process, and then tap 3 lands for 3 blue in order to cast Niv Mizzet Parun from the command zone, triggering the Ancient. He'll then cast Sensei's Divining Top, triggering the Ancient, and then he'll end the turn. On Ajdin's turn, he'll untap, trigger his Ancient, moving all the counters to his Animar, then draw for turn. He'll then cast a Lifeblood Hydra for 16, triggering Animar and the Ancient, before swinging in on Guy with his Animar. Guy will respond by casting Submerge, targeting Animar, triggering the Ancient and Niv Mizzet. Niv Mizzet will draw him a card and then trigger Niv Mizzet's second ability, dealing 1 damage to the Harsh Mentor. The Submerge resolves, so Animar leaves the battlefield, triggering the Ozolith, which gets all the counters. Ajdin will then pass the turn, but before he does so, Guy will activate his Sensei's Divining Top to draw a card, which triggers the Harsh Mentor first, dealing 2 damage to him. Then he'll draw the card, putting the top back on top. Niv Mizzet will trigger, and he'll deal a 2nd damage to the Harsh Mentor, killing it. Then the turn ends. On Calvin's turn, he'll untap, draw, then drop a Solemn Simulacrum, triggering the Ancient. He'll enter the battlefield and he'll find a mountain. He'll then cast Captain Lannery's Storm, triggering the Ancient, and then he'll swing in on Guy with the Captain, triggering the Captain to make a treasure token, but then Guy will block, killing the Captain.
And then second main phase.
Can we redo that whole thing? When game actions happen, you talk very quietly and you talk very quietly. This is not the volume you guys talk at. We talk on game actions. I can't hear me. Or Calvin and I talk up here so I can hear each other speak. When you block, you just some gesture, so a little dink dink, or a little poke poke, or a little fondle fondle.
Some of these, and some of them. Almost there, and done. Now let's see how it looks so far.
Calvin will then cast an Ironmer in his second main phase, and then move to end step. On Calvin's end step, Adrian will activate his Stoneforge Mystic's ability to put Sunforger onto the battlefield. Then the turn ends. On Adrian's turn, he'll untap, draw, then equip the Sunforger to his Relic Seeker. He'll then attack Guy with the Relic Seeker, but Guy will block with his Ogre, killing it. On Adrian's end step, Guy will crack his Arid Mesa.
Now that's interesting. You know, Guy, I think this Godo threat is saving your Niv from getting paths a lot right now.
I think so too.
It's good.
Searching for a mountain. Round 6, Guy will untap, draw, then drop an island, before swinging in at Calvin for 5 commander damage with Niv Mizzet. He'll then end the turn. On Ajdin's turn, he'll untap, the Ancient will trigger, moving the counters 1 to the Druid and the rest to the Lifeblood Hydra. Then he'll draw a card. Then he'll move to combat, triggering the Ozolith and giving the Lifeblood Hydra even more counters, and he'll then attack Guy for 31 damage. Guy will respond by flashing an Ophidian Eye onto his Niv Mizzet, which triggers the Ancient.
Oh,
That is the combo.
yeah, wait, hold on.
I have a response.
And then Adrian will respond to the cast of Ophidian Eye by unequipping Sunforger and searching his library for a red elemental blast, targeting Niv Mizzet. This cast triggers the Ancient, and it triggers Niv Mizzet. Niv Mizzet will draw him a card, and then Niv Mizzet will deal 1 damage to Ajdin. Guy will then cast Disallow, targeting the red elemental blast, triggering the Ancient and Niv Mizzet. Niv Mizzet will draw him a card, and then Niv Mizzet will trigger and deal damage to Ajdin. All of the spells resolve, the disallow counters the red elemental blast, but Guy cannot follow it up with the combo.
Are
This
you able to
enters.
stop that tag?
Nope. I died.
Oh my goodness!
I wanted it so bad for you.
Oh my! I'm sorry.
How much damage is that?
That's
6,
25.
12, 20.
The Lifeblood Hydra connects, and Guy is knocked out of the game. Ajdin will then finish his turn by casting his Animar Soul of Elements from his hand, before passing it to Calvin. Calvin, who untaps into a completely tapped out opposition, casts Godo.
And he casts Godo, Bandit, Warlord.
I have no response.
Godo is going to enter the battlefield, and I'm going to search my library for a single card.
Hey Calvin, is it gonna be Helm of the Host?
What?
It's
Helm of the
it's a
Host.
Helm of the Host.
I thought it was gonna be Shugo.
I thought for sure it was gonna be Captain's Claws.
All right, fun fact. I was wrong about the equip cost. It is 5, but it doesn't matter.
Why? Because you have it.
I have Iron.
You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, I have 6. That's right.
And Godo has haste.
The token will, right?
The token will is a Helm, right?
Yeah. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope.
Oh, we don't need it.
I'm not cracking that. I'm tapping my Iron Mirror. I'm gonna equip Helm of the Host.
Oh, yep, that works.
Now I'm gonna move to combat.
Oh, yep.
Helm of the Host is gonna trigger. It's going to make a token copy of
Godo.
Godo Bandit Warlord. In combat, I am going to declare attack. I am going to attack Ajdin with my 3/3. The token has haste. Let's say Ajdin blocks. That's fine. This dies. But this is a Godo. So I am going to untap all it and all my samurai, but it's dead. And then have another combat. Then new combat. Token. I attack Ajdin. It is unstoppable because while you can block and you can, deal with the creature, I have endless 3 power, you do not have endless toughness. An indestructible creature would stop this dead in its tracks. There is none.
You don't have one.
So I'm just gonna... Godo!
Yay! He did the thing.
So let's talk about it. The first deck I want to bring up is the Niv Mizzet deck, because the Niv Mizzet deck should have won, all things considered. It got the combo out, basically, and it resolved. He just ran out of things to do. I've personally never seen that before in a game of Commander. Maybe that's just me showing my, newbiness or whatever, my greenness to the crowd, but that's always thrilling when someone gets the winning combo in play and then dies. This is probably a case of Guy had to mulligan down to 5. Not necessarily the 2 cards that he shipped would have saved him there, but if he just kind of needed anything to speed up the game. And sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. The deck I want to talk about after that is the Akiri deck, which the entire time was blistering fast but held back. Adrian did a pretty good job at all times, basically keeping Path to Exile up. Godo at any moment could have just been like boop, and then you saw what happened at the end. Godo came out and boop. Sunforger is surprisingly a very powerful card. I am actually very inexperienced with it, and I'm going to see it probably screw me one day. It hasn't yet. It has tried twice. It hasn't yet. I'm just lucky. The third deck, obviously, Animar. Animar is the guy that actually killed someone in normal combat, not cheesy combat. But this is the second game you've seen with Animar. This isn't new news. I just kind of want to emphasize how the Ozolith and I believe it was the Forgotten Ancient, it's just trigger, I'm triggered. And then finally, Godo. Godo was actually really unimpressive in that game, and I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it. It was just kind of there. Harsh Mentor was a bit harsh, but that's really Harsh Mentor is kind of in the deck as like a CEDH spell, and this isn't a CEDH pod. The Godo deck was just kind of sitting there, being non-threatening, yet always a turn away from victory, and it did the thing. Like Ajdin said, After Niv Mizzet tries the combo at the end of it all, and you know, everyone's like, oh, guess we gotta stop that combo deck. And then the other combo deck comes in and is like, boop. And maybe that's just the way some pods go. I don't know how I feel about it yet. Comment down below if you think the Godo game was, if the Godo should stay around. I still have it sleeved. I mean, I'll be happy to pilot it again, but like, I don't know. Granted, if I stay alive. Thank you for tuning in to NeonMushroom, something subscriber bell, something, and goodbye.
You guys ever like notice that if you are, but then you can't even if?